Welcome back to RC Dirt Oval, the podcast. I'm your host, Andy Zeller, and thank you so much for joining us today. I have a good episode ahead. Got to get together with Shane Holtzapple, Big Papa Racing, and pick his brain about some stuff, the king of buying, selling, and trading. But it was nice to sit down with him, get a little time to chat. So, short review of the past weekend. Loco Joe's ran the Spooky Coal Burner race that had one of their main events, I think, had the lights out for the feature, and they just used glow sticks around the track and on the cars. It's pretty cool to see. If you haven't seen it, check it out on their Facebook page, Loco Joe's RC Raceway, and give that a look. It's super cool. So hats off to them, Jeff Palmer, for going outside the box and doing something different. So without any further ado, we'll get right into the episode with Shane Holtzapple. Appreciate you guys sticking along for this ride. Sorry that we didn't have an episode last week. Some scheduling conflicts, and I've been super busy trying to get Deer Run ready. So enjoy this episode with Shane, and I'll be back for some results after we're done with him. All right, I'm here with today's guest, Shane Holtzapple. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing wonderful.
Thanks for coming on. We're going to introduce everybody here to Big Papa. Where did you get that name, by the way?
15 years ago, I was racing at a track, and there were 7 Shanes.
7 Shanes, all right.
And 5 of us were up on the race stand, and they couldn't figure out whose cars was who. And I made a joke. I said, just call me Big Papa. And ever since then, that's stuck.
That's awesome. And it has now turned into Big Papa Racing and buy, sell, and trade, and we're going to get into some of that stuff. Let's start at the beginning, though. When did you start racing?
Back in 1986. Right after I got married, I started racing. I got my own car, started racing. First place I raced was up at F&S.
F&S, okay.
Holgate Village.
What surface was that?
Asphalt.
Asphalt.
Yep. And I was racing to my Indy car.
Okay.
And then I went to a gold pan stock car class.
Gotcha. Okay. And when did you first move to dirt then?
About a couple years after that, I moved. I raced for somebody up at Wiley's.
Wiley's, awesome. It's
the dirt track. It was up at Pinchot entrance.
Yep, Campground Road.
Yep.
I actually got to meet Wiley. I talked to him. We were originally looking for a location for First Capital, and Wiley's came up probably through you that, you know, I didn't know existed, but I hunted this dude down, and he is not easy to find or get a hold of. But I first talked to his wife, and then I talked to him, and I know that he would love to keep that track going. He'd love to get it back up, but I guess the rest of the family is kind of, you know, opposed to it. It was a lot of work and a lot that went into it. Plus, I think the parking situation changed there. But for people that don't know, it's on Campground Road, and it's actually beside Lakeside Designs, Zach Barber's shop, and he had put in an off-road track there at the end, and
it never
corrugated.
Came around.
Right, and the corrugated pipe that was there for that track, we actually used that for the first season at First Capital in the infield. So that yellow piping that we had was from Wiley's. And again, I had talked to him. The clay, you can still see it through like parts of the grass. Like you see, you know, it's still banked and everything. It's grown over, but
it was a good track, damn good track. We ran there. Wow, I bet you that was over 20 years ago when he redid it. Came back out, and we used to race every Wednesday night.
Okay.
It was nice. Every Wednesday nights we raced. We raced until November.
What kind of cars did you race there?
Well, we ran truck.
Okay.
We had a truck class. It was nitro then. So we ran nitro trucks, and then they also had a Munster truck class, and they also had I can't think. It was about 2 or 3 or maybe 4 different tracks.
Okay.
Or 4 different cars. But we had a blast. It was a nice thing.
Did they end up getting nitro like sprint cars by the end of it?
Yeah, we ran one year when they had a nitro tour,
Okay,
and I think Custom Works was behind it with the rules and everything. And we
gotcha.
raced there one Saturday up at there, and that year was the first year I ran nitro sprint, and I finished 10th in the points.
Awesome. I have never ran a nitro sprint car, but I've seen one now. I don't know if Bankert ended up buying that one or not off Kyle Loy down at Loco Joe's. He was
Yep,
talking
I
about
think
it.
he did buy that one.
Yeah, that'd be cool to toy around with a little bit.
They were not fun because you flamed out, you were done. If you they were just a total different beast. Where if you didn't have the mixture set right, you blow glow plugs or this. I got really good at it. I was very good at tuning. Most of the people came to me for me to tune their engines. I worked out at Paul's when Paul had his
Paul Schweitzer.
his Schweitzer Hobby Depot, the hobby store, and I did a lot of all the fixing and tunings and stuff out there.
Nice. And with those, were they foam tire or rubber tire?
Rubber tires.
Okay. So have you ran foam tire though too for a bit there at Staub's, anywhere else?
Yeah. Ran indoor up at Kranzel's. We ran there till Kranzel's lost his, how would you say? I guess his lease because the guy wanted to turn it into a one of those places where you can buy or bring up and sell stuff, a flea market.
Gotcha. Yep.
But yeah, we ran up there for the longest time running. He had one of the best indoor dirt tracks. And
Gotcha.
that was clay.
Okay.
His father really took care of that track a lot. Now he passed away. I think it was a year ago.
Right.
But he also owned Terminators,
Okay.
which I ran Terminator trucks, Terminator late models and stuff.
Awesome.
He had some good stuff. That was way back.
Okay. So I mentioned I reached out to Wiley's as an option for First Capital's first location. I'll give a little bit of the backstory because you were kind of involved in this too, where we were looking for a place and you showed us Wingnuts that was, where is that, like Manchester area?
That was out in Manchester at Mudboss
Mill Road.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was actually like a little bit, not everybody knows the story. There was a little bit of like confusion between the factory guys and us because there's different people that were running the Wingnuts deal, and then that whole deal fell through anyways.
Yeah, the lady that owned it, Mrs. Mundus, she owned the farm,
Right.
and we leased the land. Well, she got old enough that from what I hear, is she got put in a home.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that would make sense.
Her daughter or I guess his daughter's in charge, not the brother, and she didn't want to deal with that anymore, so they said it's over with.
Axed it all.
Yep.
And there were two guys that were talking to each of us individually, and I know, like, I think I got a little over upset with the factory guys because I just tend to take things personally for no reason sometimes. I've gotten a lot better at it, but
yes,
one of my struggles. A little.
A little better.
It's still a problem, but I tried my best. But yeah, like that was just a big miscommunication. But I mean, you ran that track for the last season there.
Yeah, the last season I ran it. I tell you, people don't understand what it takes to run a track. It's not something easy. I'd rather be like the silent guide and help out in the background than to be outrun it because it takes a lot. It's not something simple people think.
And especially with a place like that, like the Wingnuts deal, for people that don't know, we're talking about a farmland that you drive past the buildings, you drive past the farm, and you're driving out into the middle of what seems like a cornfield.
Right.
And it's just open land, and then all of a sudden there's a track pop down there. And I mean, it was a nice little track.
It was an awesome track. I mean, it was actually a really good loose dirt track. I was working on trying to get it better than what we had instead of having cars fly off the bat into the grass, trying to put a
Right.
wall up. It's a lot of work. I mean, it's
And
just
a lot of money.
yeah, money ain't. Yeah, that's the biggest problem. If you don't got money, you might as well forget about doing the track.
Yeah, and I mentioned on the last episode that being a track owner is really a thankless job because it's so much week in and week out all the time. I mean, I have been like almost unreachable for the last 2 weeks, just prepping, getting Deer Run ready for our first race that was this past Wednesday. So,
And it looked like you had a hell of a turnout.
it was a great time. I was so surprised to see. I mean, we saw a bunch of new faces. We saw people that we haven't seen in a while. Certainly better than we anticipated, and I was super grateful for that. So, but getting back to, so you were running wing nuts or whatever. With that, like, again, because it's out in the middle of the field, you had, I think there was a porta pot there or whatever, in
Right.
a little shed.
Yep.
And a driver stand and a track. So you guys were running everything off generator.
Yep.
Your generator.
Yep.
That's still being used by me by a track for the time being. So, did you had a timing system there and everything?
We had a timing system. We had, I guess, what is it? The
Track-
cheaper
track mate.
Yeah.
and ran the overhead deal
Yep.
there, and you were operating the computer system. Did you call the races too there, or did you have somebody else do that, or did nobody?
I had a guy that was like my right hand that did it. His name was Dean Schulp, I think.
Okay.
And him and his boy and his wife would come over and race too.
Right.
They did a nice job. I mean, it's just a lot of work. And I mean, I didn't, he promoted for me. He did the promoting. I just tell him what.
Right.
But it's like you go over there and the track over there, I mean, it grew up in the track where you had weeds always growing up in it. And it just took a lot of time out of your day and I was working back then, so it was a little different.
Right.
But
So from there, when did you first start buying, selling, and trading? Because I think that's one of the things you're most known for. Your Sire trailer says Big Papa Racing. We buy, sell, and trade.
I did that about 10 years ago. I did it just as a side hustle because I was racing off-road. And there's people that were getting in and out, and I buy their stuff, and then I turn around. And it ain't for me to make a killing. I just try to do it to have fun. I get I get stuff that I might need, but then I sell the other stuff. I also help out people too. My biggest thing is I like helping out people. I mean, I have fun. You need parts or something, I don't have a problem giving it to you.
Right. Yeah, and
And-
I send people at the track all the time, like, go see Shane. He's probably got something.
And right, or people would come to me when they need soldering done all the time.
Yeah, you are the solder king.
But to me, I'd rather do that kind of stuff and race really because I like doing it for people. I mean,
Right.
this year I gave out like, what was it, 3 cars. I helped out with other stuff besides that. Emily, she has one of my race cars. She loves it,
Yep.
and
Cammy.
Cammie has my other car. She run the rally. She loves it.
Yep.
And I
She
gave
just
another
raced
one
it
out
Wednesday.
to another person. My grandson's racing, and I'm going to probably start my wife's sister's kid since they moved back up here.
Awesome. Yeah, that's one of the big things that I know really stands out about what we're trying to do as far as everybody that's been involved in tracks that I have operated is really trying to increase the young kids and their participation, and more importantly for like parents and children or grandparents and grandchildren. One of my favorite things to do is to take Archer and go somewhere where we're not at our track, because I think he acts a little crazier at our track because he feels comfortable. It's like home,
Right.
but taking him to another track, and especially like seeing after this season, we were talking about it before we started shooting this, about
Right.
just some of these kids, man, have come so far.
Well,
like Riley, Spidle.
Right. You look at it, how it first started out, that I really took a lot of notice on was Emily, and I
Yep.
started helping her when I first met her. And that was 2 years ago. And she's been doing awesome. And then Raleigh comes into play.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, some of these kids, they're getting to be too good that, I know I'm good, but they can kick my butt, and I love it. I think it's more fun to watch these kids kick the older people's butt than anything. I mean,
Right.
I don't care if I get beat or not. I'm there for fun.
Right. And that's definitely what it's all about.
Well, and like the guy that you bought your trailer from, his boy.
Terry Hartlaw, Bryson.
Yeah, Bryson. That kid there can drive that damn midget like there's nothing.
Yeah, he is a wheel man.
Oh my God, I couldn't believe that day we had that big bet, and I gave him $20. I said, "You earned it because you got me." I mean,
Yeah.
kid can drive.
Yeah, and that's
the whole thing. This whole thing's all about the kids.
right. And that's something else that I wanted to touch on too, about how you help out with, different races or like little stuff like that. I know First Capital was always like a really laid back, tried to keep it like a fun atmosphere, and that was something, you'd throw up $20 to Bryson and say, "You beat me in this midget, you get $20."
Right. Oh, well, it started out with 5, and I just said, and he started from dead last.
Yep.
And he
Put him to
still
the rear.
put 3 laps on me. I was laughing, and we have a little rivalry going, but it's a fun little rivalry.
Right.
And that's the whole thing. It's people take this stuff way too serious. We're there to have fun.
Yeah, it
mean-
certainly can cross that line sometimes, and
I for the first time this year, I actually lost it one time.
yeah, that's
I was not happy, but I admit
It's
it.
never good.
And I even talked to the person. We're all good.
right. And that is something you're kind of notorious for, not flipping out, but like pretending or being sarcastic about
And
flipping
carrying-
out
Well, yeah, and it's all about
on the stand.
Yeah, on the stand, it's all about having fun.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm pretty sure that 80% of the people that race with you don't know if you're being serious or not. I always do, and that's why I'm like ragging on you.
Yeah,
the whole time
and
too.
that's the
but-
funny thing is, it's like I hear a lot of people watch the shows and they were always talking about how you rag on me and stuff, and they go,
That
"You really
announcer has
cheat
it
and
out.
all?" And I go, "No, I don't cheat." I said I could, but I don't.
Say even if he wins, we know that it's disqualified.
Yeah, right.
But,
Or
'cause
he's
it's your
using
car.
a big battery, or
Right. So you're buying, selling, trading. You started that about 10 years ago. You use that to source, obviously your own needs at times. And I think that's a really good thing about this hobby, is that, cars fairly well hold their value. Enough that you can, if you get tired of one car, you can usually get out of that, find somebody that's willing to get it, and you can usually find what you're looking for. If it's not brand new
Correct.
and hard to find, you can, kind of maneuver around to try something else. And I mean, I'm guilty of that. I've done that since I started.
you went through a lot.
Yeah, and you get rid of a midget. Like I sold my midget back beginning of this outdoor season. I got rid of it because I got just ticked at it, and I was done with it.
Yep.
So you get rid of that, and then now I'm building one again, a conversion from Kozo, and just gonna try and something different and see if it works better. And that's kind of the beauty of having a couple different manufacturers too, and
Right.
being able to kind of switch around.
I mean, you got a lot of manufacturers out there for all different things, and if it wasn't for them, I mean, we couldn't do a lot of the stuff.
Right. And with, like I mentioned, your trailer, saying like you buy, sell, and trade and stuff, your trailer is actually a pretty decent setup in there. For what it is, it's simple, but it's super efficient.
Yeah.
And you have it set up, you added to it this year. Give people listening like advice or kind of your mindset of how you set up that trailer, because like I said, it's simple, it's nothing crazy, but really, like me and you or anybody else that pits with you, you both have a ton of space. It's
I have it. I have like I said. It's only just supposed to be me and my partner that helps me with my eBay trailer, but he don't get out to race too much because of his kids. And
right.
it used to be Paul Schweitzer's old trailer, and I use it. We use, there's there's two spots in there to work at. I have a spot, and if somebody else wants to ride with me and wants spot in there, that's fine. They can pit in there. And then, like in the middle of it, I have my areas where I have all my batteries set up with my chart where my power supply is, and then also my soldering area.
Right.
Because I'm always soldering because everybody comes up to me, asks me to solder
every time. I've done it.
It's like I just because I guess how I am, I'm very particular on how my stuff has to be.
Right. Speaking of soldering, though, I have to mention the BL2 job we just did where Archer somehow clean slice the black wire off the BL2 ESC, and you were helping me fix it. And we're like, okay, we got to just solder, the connection back, and pulled off that top case, and we had to resolder that friggin' thing 3 different times because the first time we had the one wire outside the blue case, the top. And then we put the blue case in, but then we put we didn't have the cam.
On the wrong.
Yeah, we didn't have the bottom,
right.
Thing that comes up for the connector or whatever. That was not in the wire, so we had to do it 3 times, and I thought that was hilarious.
We always have fun now.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
I mean, I just like it. I mean, it's like if I get to be Paul's age and still doing it, I'll be happy.
Right. Yeah, Paul's going to be on the show, too. We're going to probably have you back as well. I know we talked about you're a good person to talk to with the whole Traxxas versus purpose-built because you run both and, you run both frequently. You're pretty much 50-50 split all but down the middle with your cars. And
yep, I've pretty much got everything and anything.
Right. So and
it's like it's even at home if you guys need certain parts that you can't get, I usually got parts. And I got old parts for Terminators and Custom Works. And
you name it.
You name it, I pretty much got a lot.
I've seen his basement, can confirm. If people want to reach you, how would they get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of me.
Via Facebook?
I have an eBay. I have a... you can get a hold of me at my mail by Yahoo, Shane Holtzapple at Yahoo.
Just as it's first, last name.
Or you can call me. It's 717-801-9316.
So if you are looking for stuff, Shane can usually help you out. I know there's so many times where I just hit you up and be like, hey, dude, you have a Bandit. I think when I got my first mini Mudboss, that was when I met you.
Right.
And you were coincidentally really close friends with my cousin Bob.
Right.
And, I've known Bob forever, and that's where.
Well, that's how it got turned on between me and you was because of Bob.
Yeah, and I got that mini Mudboss from you, and then I think like I said all the time, I'll be like, hey Shane, I'm looking for a slash. You've always got friggin' 7 of them or something, but
Yep, I do. I usually have slashes. I'm down to about. I think I got 1 now at the house. Well, 2 down at the house.
Right.
And you have the other 2.
Yep. 2 up in my shop.
And
so
we had them for rentals at the track where you can.
Yeah, another thing that you've helped out with.
Right.
That was we were, I think, really anticipating for Kids Day. We were encouraging a lot of people just bring out your kids. Like we got rental cars, and I think if we
try it,
right,
they don't have to race it for the day, but.
Right. And if we market that this year a little better, and I'm really going to try and hit that hard, I think kids try it once, especially any kid that's ever gone to Lincoln and sat there in the friggin' dirt with their little cars. Dude, they're going to love this stuff. So, I think that there's a lot of people out there that we can hopefully get in front of this hobby. And, obviously, anybody out there that's looking for if you're trying to get started and you're trying to figure out what you're looking to do, you can hit up Shane or myself. But Shane will help you all the way through. He's done it for so many people, and he's got tons of stuff that if he doesn't have something, you can always find it. I'm like, hey, dude, I need a Bandit, and you get it like a week later. You're like, hey, I got a Bandit for you, and it's usually a really fair price. I mean, I think people that try to sell stuff to you get furious about that. Like it's the Shane Holtzapple price.
Yeah,
but
everybody does.
Half of it is joshing around and
Right.
stuff. But
Just like they did at the Track Santa about how if I buy it, I sell it for so much, but I pay for like 8 of what it's worth.
yeah, you charge it for 8 times more than what you bought it for. That's not true. I bought stuff off of him. He's very fair. I appreciate you coming on here. I appreciate everything that you do for the hobby and the track. Like you helped out at First Cap. You're gonna, I'm sure, be at Deer Run this Sunday. I'm glad you came on here to give people a taste of who you are, and hopefully, like I said, we can have you back on here soon to go over that Traxxas purpose built.
I have no problem about that.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Shane. Appreciate you, buddy.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Shane Holtzapple, for sitting down with me and chatting. Always good to pick his brain. We'll get him on again here in the near future. Let's go into results from the past week. Loco Joe's Spooky Colt Burner, we'll start with that. The breakout class, Richie Krenzer was third, Michael Ciccone was second, Gary Martin was first. The Colt Burner race, which was the one with the lights off, I believe, Michael Ciccone got third, Gary Martin second, and Richie Krenzer got the win. SE Street Stock, Richie Krenzer got third, Gary Martin second, and Jeff Mawhinney got the win. Small Block Northeast Modified was Gary Martin in third, Willis Gordon in second, and Bryson Durden got the win. Spec Truck, Paul Feller was third, Black Cloud was second, and Jeff Mawhinney was first. Sportsman was Buddy Kenter in second, and Eddie Ciccone got the win. Traxxas Mod, Richie Krenzer was third, Gary Martin was second, and Jeff the Palmer King got it done there in the Traxxas Mod. So moving along, Pheasantland ran Saturday. Looks like they had Sportsman Riley Spidel was third, Lonnie Deturk was second, and Dave Marr got the win. 13.5 Sprint, Anthony Potsman was third, Kevin Kuzer was second, and James Henry got the win. BL2 Mudboss, Wyatt Yan got third, Kyle Horning was second, and Travis Unglert got the win. Midget, Kevin Kuzer was third, Owen Wise second, and Brett Hollinger got the win. And Traxxas Mod was Josh Truitt in third, Mike Yan in second, and Fast Guy got the win. Ultimate ran on Wednesday, and I believe they ran this past Friday, the Friday before, and Archer and myself, that's when we should have had an episode out, but Archer and myself went and ran at Ultimate, and Archer made the podium, got third, and that was awesome. I was so proud of him. He had some rough qualifiers, and I think once he really focused and got to it, he strapped down and put it together for the main, and he broke a bulkhead and a heavy-duty bearing carrier, but still managed to get a podium, got third place, so super proud of him. Good job, Archer. And now both of my family members, Archer and Sarah, have podiumed at Ultimate, and I have not, so there's always that. A great surface, though. I had a great time. Everybody there was super nice. It was good seeing some people that I don't normally get to see. We were camping in that area. We were camping at Red Run. We go every year for Halloween to Red Run Campground with my dad and a group of his friends, and it was nice to go race on Friday and then come back to the campground and just get to camp the rest of the weekend. And we had a blast. We really did. So it was fun. Actually, I don't even know. That might have been Wednesday night. I'm so off. My days are terrible right now. But whatever day, I think it was either Wednesday or Thursday. It was the day that we got to the campground. So I think it was Wednesday. And we ended up, just dropping the camper, and then Archer and I went over, and Sarah stayed back with the dogs and everything. So again, great surface, great environment, great time, had fun. that new surface is definitely different, but I like it. It's a good different. Chris and Owen were there with Riley as well, and Chris did awesome. He ended up winning the Mud Boss feature, so a ton of success there for everybody else. And one day maybe I'll get a taste of that, but I'll keep trying. So if you get a chance, check out Ultimate's new surface if you haven't already. It's pretty sweet. So. Let's go to their results from this Wednesday. 13.5 sprint was Hal Gilmer in third, Brian Moyer in second, and Kevin Kuzer got first. 17.5 sprint was James Henry in third, Lance Batdorf in second, and Phil Marabella got the win. Midget, Brett Hollinger was third, Matt Kirkpatrick was second, and John Pauly was first. Savage sprint was Brian Moyer in second, Dylan Moyer in first. Mud Boss was Tim Diebler in third, Kerry Siegfried in second, and Mike Saladay got the win. Traxxas Modified was Dylan Moyer in third, Joshua Truitt in second, and Kerry Siegfried got the win. Kerry, I think, wins every single Traxxas mod race there. So whatever he's doing, figure it out. He's the man to beat there. Deer Run, we ran on Wednesday as well. We had an awesome turnout. I can't thank everybody that helped enough with that. I had Chris Speidel there the whole day Wednesday, and we were wiring up the lights, getting that fixed and finished. We got the speakers, everything set up. I stayed there Tuesday evening. I was working on the track. I went live on Facebook and then ended up staying at the campground. Such a nice campground, too, for anybody out there that camps. Super calm and relaxing. With being on a campground, we do have like a curfew, if you will, for 11 o'clock. So because of quiet time, obviously, but I tell you, that campground is just peaceful and so far so good. So really excited for this track. Everybody that came out, we had an awesome turnout that I didn't even expect or anticipate, way more than I thought we were going to have. And I was so just taken by that and appreciative. So thank you all, anybody that's watching this that came out. I'm so thankful that you guys gave it a shot and came and joined us for the first night there. So nothing but good feedback on the track surface. It's definitely different than anything I've helped with or been on. It's definitely different, but it's a good different. I think it's a unique little surface, and it's a good size track. And I think after the upgrades we put in over the winter, it's going to be something really nice for next season. So appreciate it again, everybody coming out, everybody that's helped. There's been so many. Thank you guys. You all know who you are, and thank you so much. So let's go to the results there on Wednesday. 13.5 Mud Boss, Owen Wise was third, Colby Dillon was second, and Jeff Foster got the win. 13.5 Sprint was David Parr second, David Parr third, Justin Albright second, and John Parr got the win. Mod Sprint was Steve Loy in third, Bryson Hartlob in second, and Kyle Loy got the win. Rally was Jared Miller driving Justin Albright's car in third, Owen Wise second, and Terry Hartlob first. Mod Late Model was Jeremy Davis in second, Justin Albright in first. Mud Boss was Michael Fay in third, Owen Wise second, and Chris Speidel got the win. Novice was Emily Souder she won, so I wrote this one backwards. My bad. Jared Miller was third, Riley Speidel was second, and Emily Souder got the win. Rookie was Brantley Gann in third, Avery Souder second, and Cooper Parr got the win. And Traxxas Modified was Mike Yasovsky in third, Roy DeNike in second, and Jeff Foster got the win. Again, thank you so much for everybody that came out for that. And looking ahead for this weekend, Pheasantland practice tonight outside on the big track. It's open, and you have to check their Facebook page for the hours. I forget what hours he said, but Mike said that the shop and the big track are open for practice this evening. Factory has their open house this Saturday, tomorrow from 11 to 5. I believe the upstairs is doing a raffle for a Slash, so I believe that drawing is at 2 o'clock. And there's a seminar with Garrett Williamson on Saturday at 12:30. And he's going to be going over setup, maintenance, cleaning, how to adapt to the track, rebuilding shocks, rebuilding diffs, and also have that's a ball diff rebuild specifically, it said, and then a Q&A session with him. So definitely worth going to pick Garrett's brain. He has a ton of knowledge, and if you're planning on racing the factory, He's one of the best there. So definitely check that out this Saturday. That's again 11 to 5, and the seminar's at 12:30. Ultimate will be running on Sunday, as well as Deer Run RC running on Sunday. So pretty busy weekend ahead of us here. Got some great weather still to enjoy before the indoor season rolls up on us. So get in your outdoor racing if you are, and we will be back again next Friday. Hopefully I'll have Garrett by then. If not, it might be the week after. But Hunter was involved in an accident this week, so we want to send our prayers for a quick recovery for Hunter Mackeson from the factory. Hope you feel better, buddy. And if you're watching this, we're praying that they have a speedy recovery here. So thanks to Garrett, though. He's going to try and get back with us and reshoot his episode as soon as we can. But obviously it's super busy for him too right now. He's in the final stretch of right before you open. So thank you to everybody for following along with this. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you on the next one next Friday. Like, subscribe, follow along, all that good stuff on YouTube, and help spread the word. If you think somebody would enjoy this podcast, or you got somebody that you would like to be on it, shoot me a message. We're on Facebook, and we'll make it happen. So thank you guys so much again. You have a great week. Enjoy the weather, and most of all, have fun. Thanks.